Hey folks, welcome back. Beautiful afternoon here in central Ontario, Canada. I'm getting out here in the sun. Going to take full advantage of the day to get some trails cleared up that I've been meaning to clear up for some time. Now, an opportunity came up for me to try out a piece of equipment, and this piece of equipment should make my life a lot easier today. I've never seen this equipment. I don't think many of you have probably seen this, and so I jumped at the opportunity, and here lies that equipment. What we've got here is a Baumalight brush mulcher. Now this brush mulcher you might have seen in different sizes for different pieces of equipment, but this one is specifically built for the mini skid steer. This thing is 715 pounds. The teeth on the front there, they're carbide tip. There's 44 of them. It'll cut 30 inches wide. The overall width, 42 inches. And this unit here, obviously, as I said, mounts to the mini skid steer. Hydraulically powered, as you can see, there's the motor here on the right. Underneath this is a belt, and here's our connections to that mini skid steer. So we're going to put this thing into action here today. I've never seen it, as I said, and so I'm pretty optimistic that it's going to make life a lot easier. And one more thing before I forget, it's also got this up here. In the event we get into some bigger stuff, I should be able to mulch the bottom of it and then push it over with that top piece there. Now specifically what I'm going to be mulching up today, and where I think this thing is going to save me some time and effort, is right here on my left. Now I think I might have alluded to this maybe briefly at one point, but if we have a look here, the top of this sugar maple broke off out of all the trees in this forest here, and sure enough it broke off there and it fell and hit the backside of one of my little shelters here. So this shelter here, it's up on these perches, which are kind of Mickey Mouse at best. I've got some tires on this side lifting up the unit, and if we go to the other side, we've got some barrels filled with water. At least we did over here. So regardless of how Mickey Mouse it is, I want it back up where it was. I had a tall trailer in here that I want to put back in here, but before I do that, I want to clear out, as I said, some of this underbrush, and that way I've got a bit more access. I'm gonna have to get in there and lift this unit up, rebuild the bottom, and put it back down. And if you have one of these tent shelters, you know that it's kind of rickety at best, so you got to have lots of room to work. Not to mention I need some room to cut down that sugar maple. It's seen its day, and I think its day is done. Let's just jump into this shelter here, and I'll just show you what we're dealing with. Here we are inside, and as I said, it's nothing to call home about. But if we look at it, I had the tires, and that was holding it in place just fine. Over on this side, this used to sit up there. I had another one of them back there. And then when the tree clipped the backside, it knocked it all off. And unfortunately, I'm left with a mess. The only good thing is, the tree very well could have gone right through the shelter here, and it could have broke my restored sleigh. Tune into a previous video if you wanted to see that. But I restored this sleigh. I take pride in it. I would have hated to have that broke. And so very fortunate that way. Anyways, we're going to do one thing at a time. As I said, we're going to get the forestry mulcher or brush mulcher out, and we'll take care of this. And then if I get ambitious, maybe even beside this old junky shed on the left, we'll take care of a bit more. But one step at a time. I do have some wood in here I'll have to watch for, but I think all this stuff is done. Here we go. And I know some people out there are going to say, Sandy, what are you doing? That's not a good foundation for that. Well, of course it's not, but it's been up there for several years. I had it anchored in place well. Assuming we didn't have a tree hit it, well, it'd still be sitting there. So we're going to just put it back exactly how it is. Will I put up a more permanent structure at some point? Probably. Will that be today? Definitely not. One thing at a time. Here we go. Well, there we have it then, folks. That's the brush mulcher. That's the mini skid steer. This is an area that got cleared, and this is a happy person. I'm ready to repair that shelter there. I'm also ready to continue on with a few other clearings that I've got around the property. If you operate one of these brush mulchers, whether it's on a mini skid steer, larger skid steer, an excavator, even a tractor, give me some best practices, some tips down below. I'm always looking to improve on how I operate the equipment around here. As I said, that's my very first go around with a brush mulcher, and so I'm kind of learning as I go. I'm trying not to learn the hard way, by the way. Anyways, that's going to do it for me here today. If you could do me that big favor, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and if you haven't done so already, check out sawingwithsandy.com. Brand new website for me. Also check out my other social platforms. I'm out there on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and I hope to see you there.